Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Super Tax City. This is a game that you can find on Steam for about 10 bucks or so, and I gotta say, I'm really digging this game. It's akin to Luck Be a Landlord and other similar style games where you're trying to meet a quota by the end of a certain time period, and if you don't, you lose. And this quota that you're trying to meet will ever increase, and you're trying to make your production engine just continue to be more efficient as the game goes on in order to meet the ever-growing quota. So, unlike Luck Be a Landlord, which is like a slot machine style game, here you are able to put new buildings down in this 5x5 grid every so often. Like there's a little guy running across the screen on the very top, and when it reaches a certain milestone, you'll be able to choose a new facility. And ultimately, what you choose here and where you place them in your grid will ultimately determine how successful you are, because there is some combo chaining going on. See, these buildings will both produce and consume different resources in addition to sometimes giving you money when they're worked. And what do I mean by when they're worked? Well, you've got these little people walking around and working these structures. Some structures take 2 time to work, and if they're worked so many times, they'll give you, say, this many coin. So, for example, I built a couple of power plants, and for every 4 tasks that were completed there, then I would produce a power. But in addition to that, every 3 seconds, it would produce 2 coin. So each structure has some way to make coin, but as a side effect, some of these structures will produce various resources or possibly affect other structures in a certain way based on adjacency. It's really cool how all of this comes together. And if you don't like your placement of certain things, you do have the ability to move structures around in a limited fashion. There's these little hammer resources that you get. They're limited, and you'll be able to either delete something or move something. There's even a rarity system in this game, and even an upgrade system. So if you end up getting, say, 2 power plants, like you put one down originally, but you end up getting another power plant, you can put it over top the existing one to make it more efficient and upgrade that structure. And you only have a limited amount of workers, so the more structures that you put down that require work, the more you're going to hurt yourself. Yes, you do get more workers over time as you continue making your quota, and you would go from level to level to level, but you're still limited. So there are structures that you can place that are fully automated. Like I put down a bunch of Ferris wheels, for example, that would just produce coin every 15 seconds or something like that automatically. And ultimately, it's up to you as to what your decisions are in terms of building choice and placement. In between each level, assuming you're successful in meeting your quota, there's a shop, and you can spend these silver coins, and you can spend them on items, which are permanent buffs. So like that'll increase the coinage of certain building types. You can buy more like rerolls or move delete abilities. You can even buy tiles that will go underneath structures in order to buff them. So, for example, a money-making tile might increase the amount of money that structure makes every time it produces. So there's different strategies there, and there's even like a little gumball machine kind of thing where you can spend that coin to you're randomly given a structure, and you just have to, make use of it. But I'm really digging it. It's difficult. It is difficult, I will say that. Like, sometimes I just wasn't getting what I needed. And I found that, at first I was doing very well, but the more structures I was putting down, I didn't have enough people to keep up with it. So I think I was hurting myself in certain ways by putting too many structures down that were working. I didn't reroll enough. I lost my first run, I think around round 8 out of 10. Or level 8 out of 10, because I didn't have enough people working everything, and I just wasn't making that money. And I had 6 rerolls after it was all said and done. I'm like, I could have used those to maybe upgrade existing facilities, make them more efficient. That way my workers didn't have to walk around. And these workers will sort of just systematically walk around. And there are even structures that like sort of guide them in particular directions, which is kind of cool. All in all, I really enjoyed this game. It's a variant of Luck Be a Landlord that I'm really enjoying. Again, it is a little difficult and sometimes frustrating because sometimes you just don't get what you want. Like I was going for a power build on my first playthrough, but I just wasn't producing enough power for all of the different structures that were consuming it. And I got so far with it, but I wasn't producing enough power. Had I gotten more power facilities, I think I would have been able to beat it. But I crapped out around level 8 out of 10. But I look forward to coming back to this and giving it another whirl and seeing what different strategies there are. You can produce food instead and have different facilities consume the food for money. There are these keys that you can get, and you can consume, certain buildings consume keys to give you different things. There's different industries, is what I'm saying, and they do different things. So I really want to see what the best strategy is. And there's even a green a resource in the upper right. It's like a city development meter, and certain buildings are affected by that. Like this building will produce coinage equal to your current city development rating. And I got mine up to 11, and there are milestones with that too. So the more you improve your city development, the better the rewards there. So there's a lot of different things to think about when you're playing this. There is a demo, so if you like what you see, you could definitely check it out before you buy it. But ultimately, I think this is a big thumbs up for me. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.